So hey guys, what's up? So welcome to World News 20 new channel. So let's talk about COVID and summer, still an unsettled question. The arrival of a summer may have raised hopes that the novel coronavirus will not survive the temperature, but new studies have observed that there is still no statistically significant data to link epidemic growth with latitude and temperature. Even previous research that linked the spread with latitude and temperature and humidity, in fact, have noted that this correlation did not establish causation, and whereas other factors were not accounted for. No temperature link found. A recent study by the Canadian researchers looked at a prospective cohort of 144 geopolitical areas worldwide with at least 10 COVID-19 cases and local transmission. By March 20, it concluded the epidemic growth was not associated with the latitude and temperature, but may be associated with the weakly with relative or absolute humidity. The study, published in the Canadian Medical Association Journal, excluded China, South Korea, Iran, and Italy. Most of the areas examined were in the northern hemisphere. New Zealand, with temperature climates, the median temperature was 12.8 degrees Celsius and the median relative humidity was 69%. The study projected that the seasonality is likely to play only a minor role and stressed that public health interventions, school closures, restricting mass gathering, social distancing appear to have a major impact. Associations not significant. This Canadian study is in accordance with 3 other studies from China. The most comprehensive of the 3, published in the European Respiratory Journal, was conducted by the researchers of the Fudan University, examined data from 224 cities in China, including 17 in Hubei province. It calculated the basic reproduction number for 62 cities with more than 50 cases, then used RO to assess the association of the temperature, relative humidity, and ultraviolet radiation with the spreadability of the COVID-19. After adjustment for the relative humidity and the UV, the study found temperature had no significant association with the cumulative incident rate. Again, it found that the spreadability did not change with increasing UV exposure. This is quite similar with the MERS epidemic in the Arabian Peninsula, where MERS cases continue when temperatures are 45 degrees Celsius. It said ultraviolet exposure. It contrasts to the Wuhan researchers' findings. Ecological modelers at the University of the Connecticut have suggested that ultraviolet light was more strongly associated with the lower COVID-19 growth rates. The studies panning our peer review. This study too said uncertainty remains high throughout the summer in the absence of control, and that aggressive policy interventions will likely be needed in spite of the seasonal trend. The study suggests that in the absence of the intervention, the pandemic will decrease temporarily during summer, rebound by the autumn, and peak next winter. The researchers used data from 128 countries and 98 states or provinces and examined this weekly rate of the increase in the number of the infections as a function of the weather. The variable is used temperature to meter above land surface, relative humidity, absolute humidity, and incoming UV radiation at the land surface. Seasonal variation. The Connecticut researcher study predicted COVID-19 will oscillate between the northern and southern hemisphere based largely on the seasonal variation in the UV radiation and temperature without continuing interventions. Based mostly due to the variation in the UV and temperature, our model predicts that the COVID-19 risk will decline across the northern hemisphere this summer, remain active in the tropics, and increase in the southern hemisphere as days shorten and UV declines. Yet it added, however, uncertainty remains high and the probability of a weekly doubling rate remained less than 20% throughout the summer in the absence of the control. Consequently, aggressive policy intervention will likely to be needed in spite of the seasonal trends. Despite initial suggestion that seasonality would strongly control the COVID-19, the researchers said weather only explains 70% of the variation in the COVID-19 growth rates, and described factors at the level of the political units were just as important as weather. 19% of variation, and much of the variation, 64%, remain unexplained. The study said, calling for further studies on the subject. So if you like the channel, so kindly subscribe to it.